This is step 7 on page 65. You are no longer what you were. If you've successfully stepped up the freedom ladder out of injury, you are now in a most uncomfortable state called non-existence. You will not stay here for long. Non-existence is when you are unsure of who you are. You realize where you are, and you know how you got there, but you sometimes feel lost. In non-existence, you have no real sense of identity. You may know exactly where you are in life, but you aren't sure where you're heading. Identity is your belief about who you are. It is also the belief about where you are going and what you are becoming. People who have a real sense of identity have a feel for where they're heading in life. In the stages below non-existence, you were your roles. That is, you were a son or daughter, a tough guy, you were cool, maybe you were a clerk, a drug user or drug seller, and so on. Your identity revolved around those roles and certain characteristics you could cling to, like your race, the people you knew, your clothes, your job, the drugs you used, and so on. Below non-existence, you hung on to those roles for your identity, your existence. You believed that if those roles weren't there, you wouldn't exist. Your meaning in life at the time wasn't consciously chosen, nor did you actively create it. They just seemed to be there. You never really thought about it. Now, though, you really do have some power and control. You can become whatever you want. Of course, we're not talking about things like changing your race or changing your sex, but you could have almost any job you wanted, provided you'll work for it. There are some things in life that will give you happiness. These things really are possible. You're going to create some meaning for your life. In step 7, you're going to create an identity. This will not be the final you, but it is the first act of a never-ending process that leads to true freedom. Who you are, your identity, comes from two things in life. First, the things you have done definitely create part of your identity. Second, the things you are trying to become are part of your identity. You have control over what you are trying to become. To go up another step of the freedom ladder, you must create a role for yourself. You are going to choose this role, you will create it, and you're going to do it in a very easy fashion. Step 7, you must make goals. You must then act and think in accordance with your goals. The essence of step 7. In order for you to get on a positive path in life, you must form goals for yourself. Step 7 is all about setting goals. Another way of looking at goals is that once they're done, they are accomplishments. So once your goals are set, accomplish them. You will need to set other goals then, of course, but for now, work on the first ones. If your major goal is freedom and happiness, you're already moving in the right direction, but you must continue your progress in a step-by-step fashion that involves many smaller goals. We're often asked the difference between successful and unsuccessful people. Happy, successful people chart their course in life. They do this by forming a goal plan. They check on their progress often. They commit themselves to their goals. Then they act to complete them. Some people refer to their life's goals as their master goal plan, and that's the term we'll use here. Successful people take their goals and their plans seriously. Step 7 begins by completing the 1 year to live and the 5 year to live exercise. This exercise is on the next page, page 67. After you complete it, complete the remainder of this step. You will not share any of this step in group. When you have completed this step, go to group and participate in other people's step presentations. Then give your counselor your book and have him or her look at what you wrote. They may wish to speak to you individually. When they pass your work, you'll move on to step 8. This is the instruction for 1 year to live, top of page 67. In this exercise, you are to pretend you have exactly 1 year to live. You will be healthy during that year. What are 5 things you would want to do if you had just 1 year left to live? Below it is the exercise 5 years to live. Now pretend that you have 5 healthy years left to live. What are 5 things you would want to do if you had only 5 years to live? Step 7 is completed by making real goals for yourself. We call this the Master Goal Plan. Your life's Master Goal Plan consists of 3 sets of goals. One set of goals represents your ideal for yourself 1 year from now. Another set of goals represents your ideal for yourself 5 years from now. The final set of goals represents your ideal for yourself 10 years from now. Fill out these pages, page 68, 69, and 70. There is a good way of forming your Master Goal Plan. Start by thinking about your physical condition. What kind of shape do you want to be in? What will you have to do to be in that kind of shape? What kind of education do you want? What would make you happy? What kind of work would you like to be doing? Where would you want to live? What sort of people should you be around? Where will you live? What kind of transportation will you have? What are the things that will take up your time? Remember to be realistic in this. Make your goals specific. Make certain that they can realistically be completed by the date you choose. Use a separate sheet of paper to begin working on your goals. When you are satisfied with your goals, write them on the next 3 pages. Your Master Goal Plan is not shared in group. Your facilitator can just pass them or have you do additional work. When you've completed Step 7, you move on to Step 8.